Hey guys. Not sure if anybody's in here, but if you are, hi. So we are here for another round. This is week 7, sis. Can you believe that? Week 7?
Wow.
I know. We've been doing this for 7 weeks. So today we are going to be talking about 2 different things. Some of you might have heard of these, or you might not have. The first one we're going to be talking about is Chiron. And then the next thing we're going to be talking about is Lilith, Black Moon Lilith. Not to be confused with the asteroids or the comets Lilith. This is not an actual point, or this is not an actual celestial body. This is a point, kind of like the North and South Node are points. They're like calculations based on, I don't even know the calculations, but anyways. So we're going to get started on Chiron. Sissy, seeing how I wrote this, do you want to read the story about Chiron?
Mythology tells of Chiron the centaur, who is associated with the sign of Sagittarius. Centaurs are half man and half horse. They are said to be associated with shamanic legends of shapeshifters. In the sky, he is an asteroid who is believed to have come from another system and one day will return to his original home system. Legends say that he came from the elemental kingdom and ventured into the human kingdom to teach us about healing. He is said to give us information in our dreams, like herbs, trees, crystals, metals, and animal symbols to use for natural healing. He is also known as the wounded healer and teaches us how to heal the wounded parts of ourselves. This enables us to also help others through their healing crisis. He deepens our spiritual understanding of the laws of nature through empathizing with the pain of others. In our solar system, he is situated between Saturn and Uranus. Saturn being about structures and the establishment, and Uranus all about our voice of intuition. He is there whenever we are going through a crisis in our spirituality, where we start asking questions about foundational beliefs and religious dogmas. He is a bridge from the unknown to the known. Myths and legends tell us that Jupiter released Chiron from his immortality to ease his pain and suffering. Chiron had been injured by a poisoned arrow that was incurable. Jupiter returned Chiron to his galactic origins by transforming him into the constellation of Sagittarius. Chiron's arrow within the constellation points to 27.5 degrees of Sagittarius, which is the center of the galactic universe. His influence is here to teach us at this time to prepare humanity for contact with other energies outside of our own human realms. His message is one of holistic teachings in order to enable us to communicate beyond our third dimensional existence and/or reality. Sorry, I got to scroll.
No problem.
When skillfully expressed, we learn about healing ourselves and teaching others this as well. This will help us become wise and knowing and help us challenge the established and limited views we once had. When unskillfully expressed, we become scattered and ungrounded with narrow and fragmented understanding, never breaking free from authority and dogma. This can manifest also in self-doubt and spiritual uncertainty.
All right. Thank you, Sissy. That was wonderful.
It was very good. You did very good with writing.
Thank you. So, just so we can understand the second worksheet is all about putting down where on your chart you find them. And this week I did include a worksheet that I made, and these you will see are here for later on when we go through like deacons, because there's 3 deacons.
Yep, per sign.
Right,
Yep.
per sign. So you can use this chart. You can print out as many as you want and use it as many times. So if you're learning your Western, if you're learning your Vedic or Sidereal, or if you're going to do the new sky, like, or the real sky, like I'm learning right now as well, on top of all this, then go for it. I think it's all fun. So if you look in your chart, if you also look on this particular sheet, you'll see for Chiron, it looks like a key. It's got a K on the top and then a circle below it. That's what the symbol will look like on your astrological chart. So look for that. So first, you're going to ask yourself, what sign is that in? What sign is associated with your Chiron? And then the next thing you're going to ask yourself is, what sign is that element in? And then after that, you're going to ask yourself, what house is it in? And all of these are going to lead to not only where you end up healing yourself in this lifetime, but also where you end up finding what your vocation, your healing vocation, is for humanity, what you're supposed to bring to the table. So we were talking about this. Let's do mine really quick, and then we'll do yours, Sissy.
Sounds good.
So my Chiron is Pisces. Okay. So the charts that we made, or the charts that I made, first we're going to go to the astrological sign, the signs worksheet. So we're going to look for Pisces, the sign of Pisces, in the worksheets. And you guys don't have to do that. I'm going to do it really quick. But when it comes to looking at yours or future, if you're reading for somebody else, use these worksheets as a good resource for understanding. So I'm going to read what all of these signs, the good and the bad, for Pisces are. And Pisces is feminine. It's a mutable sign. Pisces is ruled by Neptune and corresponds to the 12th house. Known to be unifying, boundless, subtle, infinite, flowing, refined, imaginative. These are all characteristics of somebody that is a sun sign Pisces. Dreamy, poetic, emotional, inspiring, idealistic, utopian, visionary, romantic, mystical, intuitive, spiritual, otherworldly, ethereal, impressionable, mediumistic, receptive, empathic, healing, gentle, compassionate, unselfish, and humble. Also known to be confused, unrealistic, gullible, vulnerable, chaotic, and delusional. So that is because all signs have good and bad aspects, or positive and negative aspects. If you're more balanced, then you're going to see more of the positive aspects. If you're a little unbalanced, then you're going to see the negative aspects coming through. And sometimes, let's be honest, if you're having a good day, it's going to be the good. If you're having a bad day, you might show a little of the bad. Okay? We all have it in us. There's not one sign that's better than the other. So with that being said, I would put on my little chart, or on my worksheet here, that it's Pisces. I would write down some positive sign traits when I'm using it skillfully, so I can realize my capacity through healing in this sign's characteristics. So let's say maybe subtle, dreamy or poetic, or intuitive and spiritual. So I can help people spiritually, maybe in their dreams, dream work, maybe romantically, because they're just very feely. They are like the most psychic of the zodiac, right? But if negative traits, I could be ungrounded, I could be unrealistic, I could be delusional. So keep that in mind when you're doing healing. You want to be realistic. You want to give somebody, not only for yourself. I mean, let's put it to you this way. I might say, well, my healing modality might be something that's so completely unrealistic that it's not going to work. I mean, it's too flighty, and I'm not in like the real world kind of thing,
Mhm.
So that's part of it. That's something to keep in mind. Look at your own for yourself and determine what are some of the good traits and some of the bad traits. And these are the things to look out for with your Chiron. These are going to be some of your challenges and some of your victories. So then we go on to what type of element is this particular, sign that it's in. For me, it's water. So there's a list down here. How I heal and ultimately teach, it would be emotional healing, because that's water, and taking on others' suffering. So that's where that empathic comes in, and being like that compassionate person that, you know, and I've said this before with like even light workers and stuff like that, people that are coming in, starseeds and stuff like that. Some of it is just about lifting up other people just by being in their presence, right? So with somebody like a Pisces with this, when you are also healing through your energy, they can also be draining your energy, right? So taking on other people's suffering by just being there and listening and carrying that weight sometimes for them.
It's
Or maybe,
crazy. You've always been like that.
yeah.
Always.
So my Chiron is in my 10th house. So if you go back and you look at when we did all the houses, oh my gosh, is he really loud for you?
No,
Sully?
I
Okay.
mean, it's fine.
He's a big mouth. So the 10th house is the house of karma, career, business, achievements, administration, father, father figure or male figure, right? The 10th house is your public side. It is your house in your chart that describes your public career, your reputation, and your social status. This is the side of you that takes time to learn and become accomplished. It shows your behavior in moments of authority and when under someone else's authority, which is like the father figure. This is your house of vocation and of your life's work. Your purpose, your life purpose is in the 10th house, and or your calling. And this is also kind of a house where, because it's a house of karma, you can see some influence from your past life. So it's awful funny that this is what my vocation is to be a healer. It is in my 10th house. This is what I'm supposed to be doing, is teaching through like, spiritual counseling, because this is Chiron is about like holistic healing. It's about breaking down the foundations, the medical, what they've always been taught, like Western astrology, right? That's not holistic medicine. Holistic medicine, like it says, comes through in your dreams, like crystals and herbs, and using the things that the earth provides for you and that spirituality provides to you in order to heal thyself and then to turn around and heal others, right? So
Yep.
tarot readers, spiritual counselors, Reiki healers, stuff like that. It's that kind of stuff that is supposed to be. That's what I'm supposed to be doing. So let's look at yours. Okay.
All right. My Chiron is in Aries.
Okay. So
And-
did you pick out a few of the Aries traits?
Yep.
Positive ones?
The positive, initiators, starters, pioneers, inspiring, spontaneous, childlike, direct, innocent, energetic, eager, confident, forceful, assertive, headstrong, enthusiastic, active, independent, courageous, fearless, and competitive. On the other side, the bad side, aggressive, rash, careless, bad-tempered, foolhardy, impatient, argumentative, and self-centered. And I have definitely been all those things at one time.
That's
Maybe
what
multiple times at the same time.
yes. So you can see why that would be something that we need to heal from in this lifetime, right? In order to go and turn around and heal. That's not saying that on our bad day or somebody just totally pissed us off that they're not going to see part of those signs, right? So then the next part of that would be that was a fire sign, right? Aries is a fire sign.
Yep.
It's the cardinal fire sign. It is the initiator. It's like, bam, right? So how you would heal and ultimately teach is by inspiring with your own visions and energy healing, manipulating energy, right? So also Reiki, anything spiritual, any kind of actually like magic, because I mean, that is like a
manipulating energy.
Right, exactly.
That would be good.
Yeah. And what house was this in for you?
My 7th house.
Exactly. Which is the 7th house of partners, right?
Yes.
So what does that mean for you?
So, did you put that on here? I think you did, didn't you?
It says, which means that my education and healing abilities will likely show themselves in these areas of my life. So your way of being a healer and helping other people is through like this creative, passionate, inspiring, initiating help for people that are in partnerships, helping them find like a bridge in order to come together, like mending partnerships, mending like friends, lovers, business partners. This is where you can shine. This is where you can shine.
Gotcha. Yep. I could see that.
Have your friends ever come to you with relationship advice?
It's all the time.
Exactly. And what do they say?
Yeah.
That you give them good advice, like balanced advice, and it helps them in their relationships?
I used to give advice.
And you don't anymore?
I just, sometimes I feel comfortable with it and other times I don't, just because you always feel like you don't want to give the wrong advice and then it backfire on you. But now with learning more about, astrology and palmistry, it's a little bit, I can be a little bit more confident in what they may need, even tarot, because you're just, you're giving them messages from the universe. It's not,
Exactly. This is telling me this is like a green light to say your strength is to go on and help other people in their relationships. And the number one thing that people want 9 times out of 10, Carla, for tarot readings and all that, it's like their love readings and wanting to know, about this guy that they just met. Is he in my palms? Or,
right. Yep.
Yes. Am I going to meet my soulmate? Stuff like that. That is like the number one thing. And that's what your vocation is supposed to be. That's how you can heal people.
It sounds good to me.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah. Yes. So use this chart, guys. Use this work sheet to look at what your possible skills would be, what your possible like negative traits will be. And don't get me wrong, like we said, you're going to have both of them. Hopefully you're more the positive traits, and every once in a while the negative traits when we have bad days.
Knowing what your negative traits are anyway, that helps you to overcome those so that you do work on the good just by saying, okay, yeah, I know that I do that. So
I mean, exactly. It is like major shadow work, learning your friggin' astrology.
Yep.
I mean, because the thing about shadow work is the shadow is something that lies just underneath where you're not certain what it is. And
Right.
we don't always see our own traits, right? Sometimes
Mhm.
somebody will tell you what your traits are, the way that you appear to them. It's not
Right.
always where you appear. But in astrology, it puts it down like in a little map for you. Even though the sun is like who you truly are, how you're shining, people don't see that because they see your rising sign. You project yourself with your rising sign. And then a little bit of your moon comes out and your Mars comes out and your Venus comes out. And this is how it shows itself, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yes. All right. So let's move on to Lilith, Black Moon Lilith.
Ooh.
Ooh. All right. I'll read this one really quick. Or you know what? You read this one because I kind of help with putting the stuff together anyway. So go ahead and read.
Understanding your Black Moon Lilith. Like other aspects in astrology, Black Moon Lilith is not an actual celestial body, but rather a point in your chart. It is said to be a place in your chart where you may feel shamed, ridiculed, or ashamed of yourself. This is also where you feel repressed, stifled, or deeply misunderstood. These traits can be revealed in the sign, house, and in the aspects. These traits make you feel uncomfortable to express them and also when others express them. Black Moon Lilith can also show some minor shadow aspects in our sexuality. However, this is not the first place to look in your chart for these.
So meaning, Lilith is known as being like sexual in nature as well,
Oh,
right?
okay. I gotcha.
So
Yeah.
that's why they talk about that because many of these things are based off of mythological stories and stuff like
Mhm,
that.
mhm,
And so Black Moon Lilith is about partially sexuality. There could be like little kinks that show themselves in there, but
mhm.
you're mainly going to see that, I think, in your moon, your Venus, and your Mars in your chart. Really, your Venus and your Mars. You're going to see that, your sexuality in your Venus and your Mars.
Okay. I see.
So, what you want to do is find out first. Oh, and I should add also that you'll see on this one the little
Moon with the
symbol.
cross.
Yes, that is what Black Moon Lilith looks like on your astrological chart.
Okay.
And I don't know if I mentioned before, but the little key
Yeah.
with the K and the 0 is your Chiron. That's what Chiron looks like in your chart. So what you want to do is go through and look and find where your Black Moon Lilith is in your chart. Mine happens to be in my third house and in Leo, which coincidentally is also the same house that my South Node is in. And this is something I was telling you beforehand, that Black Moon Lilith happens to be, it's thought to like something in a past life also that you were maybe overly, let's say, like for mine is Leo, okay? So the reason why shame and being in the spotlight as well as others needing it. So in this life, it shows itself as me not wanting to always be in the spotlight. Okay. And when I see people always wanting to be in the spotlight, oh, look at me, look at how good I am, blah, 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 blah. I get uncomfortable because it makes
Oh,
me feel, oh my
yeah.
God, you're so self-centered and, egotistical. And so it is something I am working on in this life because in a previous life, maybe I was exactly like that. And that's part of the reason that I'm dealing with karma because that's also my South Node. So I was probably either a famous person and in the spotlight and had an ego the size of friggin' Texas, or I just really loved myself so much that I had an ego the size of Texas, and I even wasn't famous. I just loved myself. I was like, ooh, who knows? But so it's showing itself in this life, because even if you remember when we were doing the, I don't even like going live by myself. I like having somebody else with me, and I like sharing the spotlight with other people because I don't like it all on myself. I like sharing and I like meeting people through here, but if I had to only do it always just me, I probably wouldn't, for the most part. And something like what you and I were, or no, maybe it was Courtney and I, because I am technically an introvert. I do better in one-on-one situations.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like, so like even when I'm doing these live, I feel like right now, even though other people, or if I was in a live that wasn't members only and other people were in here and they were talking, there's still like there's still like word boxes. I am like one-on-one with you because you're in here with me. Do you see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember when we did the live with Lavender Moon of the paranormal, and they were asking all the questions and they kept on putting the spotlight on me, and I'm like, knock it off. They kept on putting it just on me. I'm like, we're having a conversation here. Would you stop doing that, please?
Yeah.
So I do feel uncomfortable. And when I see somebody else just like adoring themselves and like primping and going like this, I have a hard time with it. It's just like, oh, but I know that's my own work. That's what I got to work on. So it is in my third house. My third house has to do with networking, communication, learning, and exchanging info and connections. So I don't always that's my whole point. I love the information. I love sharing it, but I don't like being the only one to do it. You know what I mean? I like being part of a team.
Yeah, and you don't like to see the other inflated egos of.
Exactly. That is like one of my triggers. One of my triggers is like, judgmental people that like it's my way or the highway. If you don't see it my way, which I mean, I had problems with that younger in life. When I was younger, it was, and not even that much longer or younger. Black and white. Things were very black and white. I see everything gray now. Everything. And I'm still learning. I'm hopefully growing and becoming a better person. But that's part of actually seeing these things.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh, it makes so much sense.
Yeah, because when something is speaking its truth to you and it resonates, whether you want to admit it or not,
Right. That's where shadow work comes in, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
So, Sissy, where is your black moon, Lilith? What sign is it?
It's in Cancer.
Cancer. Shame and feeling too needy or dependent and to others. I want you to keep something in mind. These are quick little keyword phrases, whatever.
Yeah.
Really, if you want to get in depth, go back and look at what Cancer is. See the traits in Cancer and see where you could feel like triggered in and how Cancer operates. You know what I mean? But it's like the negative aspects, these things that you don't like feeling like you're not in control or that you need to rely on somebody else. Because maybe in a past life, maybe you did rely on somebody and they let you down.
Right.
And maybe in a big way.
Me or something, yeah.
Or you were betrayed or somebody cheated on you. So in this life, you're like, I'll be damned if I'm going to rely on somebody else. So when you see somebody else being all needy or yourself, it makes you extremely uncomfortable.
Right?
Yes,
it does. Very.
And what house was that in, did you say?
In my 10th house.
So your public self, positions in the world, reputation, vocation, and authority. So especially in work. So, or in public when somebody's like always in that like victim mode, or I can't do this without you. I need you. I need
Or
it.
just that whole mentality, period. Yeah, I definitely, that is one of my triggers. And I have, yeah.
You see, astrology is friggin' shadow work.
Psychology, that's what it is.
It is psychology at its best. Astrology, psychology, all the ologies, right? Numerology,
Therapy
mythology.
session every Thursday at 6:00. Yep.
So, do you think you understand these two aspects a lot better now after this
Oh
week?
my, yes. Yes, very.
And they
Very well
resonate
put
with you
together.
from your chart?
Oh,
Yeah.
oh yeah, big time. Yes, after this, I'm going to be looking at Bob's. Hmm.
Yeah. And that's why these blank charts are wonderful because you can print out as
Yeah.
many as you want and you can do everybody's charts, right?
Yep.
That's
Oh
in
yeah.
your family.
Yep.
And as you do that, see, I honestly think as we learn people's charts and we see what the underlying things are that drive them and what they're, what they came into this life to learn and their vocation and everything, it's like we become more compassionate because we're like, oh. So
Hmm.
sometimes it's not like even they have a choice. This is what was on their map when they came in here. I mean, they might have had a choice before they came into this earthly plane, but now that they're here, this is the cards that they dealt for themselves, right? So you're just like, oh yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Yep.
Hopefully it makes us more understanding and compassionate. And we're just like, oh yeah, they're an Aries. I get it.
I think the way that happens is when you see it in yourself and you can honestly admit that those things are true for yourself, then you know that by knowing those things are true for someone else, it would help you to look at them differently, because sometimes, it's just part of your makeup and they're struggling to not be that way too.
Right.
You know,
Yeah, it's so easy
they're
in a negative
struggling.
world to take things personally, right?
Right.
Rather than just look at it like they're just getting by. They're just doing the best they can. And the world is just knocking them on their ass right now.
Sometimes that's right.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, this
So
is awesome. I learned so much.
I'm loving this because I'm telling you guys, every week I am doing and learning, like usually the day of learning this. Some of the stuff I've had a little bit of an idea, but I'm learning more of it, more in depth detail, and doing my own, and then turning around and bringing it to you guys.
And
So
the details are is what's making it so,
yeah.
great.
And I tell you, you can go to an established astrologist, and I suggest that because they've been doing this longer and they have a good idea. But I don't think, and this is something I told Courtney, I don't think anybody can be as a good astrologist than yourself once you know the basics and start doing research, because you know the things that have happened in your life, you know the people that are in your life, you know every detail. When you start putting the pieces together, you're just like, oh yeah. Oh yeah, you can see it playing out in your head.
Oh my gosh, it is.
Yeah.
It's like puzzles coming together. Yeah. Yeah. And I've done this for years too. What's your sign, but it means nothing unless you get their freaking birth date. And by the way, what time were you born?
And can you tell me exactly where you were born? Here, just
Where
give me
you
the
live?
information.
No.
You want to be friends with me? I need your full astrological
That's
chart.
right. Yeah. That's great.
Yes.
I'll let you know tomorrow if we can be friends.
Yeah, that's the background check. That's the background check we do, right?
Yeah.
I love it.
Me too.
I mean, there's so much information there. I am loving doing this. This is like my favorite thing ever.
You are a teacher. You're a born teacher. It's awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I mean, my rising sign is Gemini. And Gemini, they are the ones that collect the information and then teach it.
Yep,
So,
Mercury. Yep.
yes. And I also found out that whatever your ruling planet is in your astrology is in your chart, did you know what that was?
Off of my ascendant. It's off your ascendant. Yeah.
It's the ruling planet of your ascendant sign, which is Mercury. And yours is Mercury too, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
That makes perfect sense to me now.
Yeah.
And we're both INFJs, and we're both life path 8.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what the
Eights
hell?
I did find 8s are leaders. They are the leaders in the world. 8s.
Yeah.
And the negative aspect of that is they can be a little bit too controlling.
Me, no. Yeah. God help me. God help me, please. Okay. Help me, baby Jesus. Help me, Tom Cruise. All right. Well, we are going to end it there. I hope that as you're watching this back, you at least get a good laugh, because we love to joke around and have fun. But I hope you're learning stuff and using these worksheets. They're invaluable. Invaluable. So we love you, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week.